सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। In the second verse of Vivekachoodamani, Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya ji has given us the entire spiritual path. Jantunam narajanma durlabham atah pumstvam tatah viprata tasmat vaidika dharma marga parata vidvatvam asmat param atma anatma vivechanam swanubhavah brahmatmana samstitihi muktihi. 9 steps. And then he concluded by saying, Shatajanma koti sukritaihi punyaihi vina na labhyate. You will not gain this unless you have good punya. Punya means what? Merits of crores of births. Shatakoti, 100 crores of births. Now, actually the topic that we are seeing now at this moment is Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. So, Narajanma, how it is Durlabha, that was explained, isn't it? And he also said that 3 things are very rare. Durlabham Trayam Eva Etat Deva Anugraha Hetukam, that you gain by the grace of the Lord. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshaya. One is the human life, another is the desire to get liberation, and third is the coming under the umbrella of a great saint. These 3 things are very rare. Now, when we speak of Vaidika Dharma Marga, Marga, path, Dharma of righteousness, Vaidika, which is spoken of in the Vedas. So, when we speak of Vaidika Dharma Marga, we are actually talking about 2 paths. Shankaracharya ji himself in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, in the very beginning, Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ Bhashya, in the introductory commentary, he says, Dvividhohi Vedokta Dharmaha. The righteous path given by the Vedas is twofold. Dvividhaha. What is that? Pravritti Dharmaha, Nivritti Dharmascha. One is Pravritti Dharma. Pravritti Dharma means the path of action. And Nivritti Dharma, the path of renunciation. where you take yourself away from the worldly action and put yourself totally on the spiritual path. Now, verses 4 to 7 which we have seen, he is trying to explain to us how pravritti marga alone is not sufficient. Pravritti marga, the path of worldly actions. And that's why he started by saying, Labdhva kathanchin narajanma durlabham, tatrapi pumstvam shruti-paradarshanam, yahatu atma-muktau na yateta mudadihi, sahi atmaha swam vinihanti asadgrahat. Having got this human birth, and there also having got the humane qualities and a peep into the scriptures, Shruti Paradarshanam, able to see the other shore of the Shruti, coming to understand that there is something which is higher in this life that I have to achieve. Having got all these things, one who doesn't put efforts to liberate oneself actually commits suicide. So, our human birth is not just for gaining name, fame, money, prestige. No. That can come in life as a byproduct. That cannot be our main aim. What should be our main aim? Atma Sakshatkara, the realization. Knowing one's own true nature alone can be our true aim. Itah konvasti mudhatma, says in the 5th verse. Yahatu swarthe pramadyati. Who is a greater fool than such a person who doesn't put efforts for one's own benefit? And what is one's own greatest benefit? To realize one's own true nature. Who is there? There is nobody. Durlabham manusham deham prapya, having gained this rare human body, tatrapi paurusham, and even there having got humane qualities, who is there who doesn't put efforts for this? Greater fool than this, which means what? It will be foolish of us if we don't put efforts for self-realization. Then, okay, so let us put efforts, come on, let us get up and do things Shankaracharya wants. You may do actions, but those are not sufficient. Vadantu shastrani, yajantu devan, kurvantu karmāṇi, bhajantu devataha, atma aikya bodhena vina vimuktihi na siddhyati. What is required for this path, what is required to attain this goal is knowledge. So if at all you want to put efforts in gaining that knowledge. Do all sadhanas, nobody is saying no, but understand that those sadhanas are to finally come to this knowledge and not for gaining name and fame. Vadantu shastrani, I am well versed in scriptures, I can read like this also and like that also. Means Gita from 1st verse to 700 verses, and from 700th verse also back I can do anything. Won't help you in spiritual pursuit. You try to understand the meaning, try to calm the mind, bring the purity of mind by chanting Bhagavad Gita. That is a good thing. Understand that all these sadhanas are means and not the goal. Vadantu shastrani, yajantu devan. I have done big yagas. So what? Kurvantu karmāṇi, social work, why you should read my biodata at some point of time. Swamiji, 1 page is not sufficient to tell what all things I have done. So what? Bhajantu devataha. Hare Rama, every day morning you start chanting loudly and to show everybody that what a great devotee I am. That won't help. See, please understand, these sadhanas are required. Nobody is saying no for that. Shastras must be studied. God must be worshipped. Social service must be done. But understanding that all these things are means in order to get that purity by which I will get the self-knowledge. Understand them as means and do it. But know it for sure, Atmaikya bodhena vina, without that self-knowledge, vimuktihi na siddhyati, liberation is not possible. Brahma shatantare api. Even in 100 Brahmaji, even in the lifespan of 100 Brahmaji, it is not possible. Last time we saw what is the lifespan of one Brahmaji. And that can tell us how long is that. That time you put efforts in this direction, you will not gain. Why? Because without that self-knowledge, liberation is not possible. So gaining material prosperity, gaining material knowledge, doing worldly actions alone will not give me liberation. Amritatvasya na ashasti vittena. It cannot be gained by those means. Iti eva hi shruti. This is what Veda says. This is what Brihadaranyaka says. Braviti karmanoho muktehe ahetutvam sputam yata. Therefore, in order to gain liberation, action has no cause in it. Means what? Action cannot give me self-realization. See, this is why Shankaracharya is putting so much emphasis on it, in order to make us understand that we have to shift our attention from worldly actions to spiritual goal. Doing more of the same will give you same results. Always remember that. Doing more of the same will give me same results. More of same result. If you want something different, you have to do something different. Are you getting it? And therefore, now from verses 8 to 15, now Shankaracharya gives the Nivritti Marga. So, Pravritti Marga is what we saw in the last session, verses 4 to 7. Pravritti Marga means he is not telling Pravritti Marga, he is telling how Pravritti Marga alone is not sufficient. Now, he tells us what is Nivritti Marga. Many people are, very much scared of this Nivritti, because they think that I have to give up my house and I have to give up my relations, etc. Nothing like that is to be done. Let us read what Shankaracharya is telling. And in this also you see his brilliance. 8 to 15 is 8 verses, isn't it? But in the first verse itself, in the 8th verse that we are going to see now, he summarizes the entire Nivritti Marga and then elaborates on one step. See, that is his brilliance. All right. Aarti Amma, can we chant the verse? Will you repeat? Ato vimuktyai prayatetvidvān. Ato vimuktyai prayatetvidvān. Saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. Saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. Santaṃ mahāntaṃ samupetya deśikaṃ. Santaṃ mahāntaṃ samupetya deśikaṃ. Tenopadiṣṭārthasamāhitātmā. Tenopadiṣṭārthasamāhitātmā. Ato vimuktyai prayatetvidvān. Saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. Santaṃ mahāntaṃ samupetya deśikaṃ. Tenopadiṣṭārthasamāhitātmā. Ataha, therefore. Swamiji, therefore. Since other ways cannot give us immortality, since other than knowledge, self-realization is not possible, since the worldly actions alone are not sufficient in gaining the goal of human life, therefore, what? Vidvān vimuktyai prayateta. Vidvān actually means a learned person. But here it means an intelligent person. Who is an intelligent person? One who has understood that Pravritti Marga alone is not sufficient and I have to do something else. And therefore has turned inwards. That person is called as Vidvān. Viveki. one who has understood, one who can clearly discriminate that I should not put more efforts in these worldly actions, I should do something else. Vidvān vimuktyai prayateta, must strive for liberation. Vimuktyai, for liberation, prayateta, should put forth efforts. Such an intelligent person, therefore, now should put efforts for liberation. How should one do that? Saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ san. San means what? Son, by becoming. By becoming what? So the entire word is adjective for such a person. For Vidvān, this is the adjective. What is the adjective? saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. Saṃnyasta, one who has given up. One who has given up what? Now start from the end of the word. Spṛhaḥ. Spṛhaḥ means longing, thirst. One who has given up spṛhaḥ. Spṛhaḥ, longing. For what? Sukha. For joy. Joy. Bahya artha. The joy that is coming out of outside objects. Bahya, outside. Artha, objects. So having given up the longing for happiness coming out of worldly objects, the pleasures coming out of worldly objects, by doing this, then one should put forth efforts for liberation. Careful. Careful. The word saṃnyasta is used. Saṃnyasta means having given up. One who has given up. It does not mean giving up actions. Nowhere Shankaracharya is saying that actions are to be given up. Nor is he saying that joy is to be given up. Nor is he saying that objects are to be given up. Carefully understand what Shankaracharya is trying to tell. See, because we don't pay attention and we just get stuck with the main word, we start panicking and what is this? Renunciation is... Renunciation of what? Is Shankaracharya telling you to give up your home? No. Why? Because objects are not to be given up. I am staying in ashram and I say that now I am listening to Shankaracharya. I give up this ashram. Ashram is not yours to give up, idiot fellow. Stay in the ashram and study. I can't give up objects. Objects are not mine to give up. Okay. So I think what Shankaracharya is trying to tell us is, give up the joys coming out of those objects. So when some object is there and it is giving me joy, you say, no, I don't want joy, I don't want joy. When the gulab jamun is there, I don't want. Arey, my dear, even that Shankaracharya is not saying. Shankaracharya is not asking us to give up objects. He is not even asking us to give up joys coming out of those objects. What is he saying? Longing has to be given up. Careful. That longing for the pleasures that are coming from the sense objects, that is to be given up. Means what? When gulab jamun is there in front, you eat. But when it is not there in front, don't have that desire. Why gulab jamun, for a long time I didn't eat only and now when will I get, I don't know. Gulab jamun. So Vivekachoodamani class is going on, but in the mind what is happening? Gulab jamun. So the entire focus is shifted there. Spṛhaḥ, that longing has to be given up. Why longing has to be given up? Very simple reason, because if the longing is there for the pleasures of worldly objects, then how will you have longing for liberation? When your mind is preoccupied with the worldly joys, how can it ever think of that Supreme? Isn't it? And therefore, give up this longing for the worldly objects. That is the step which will also be explained as vairagya. It will come later on. So Viveki, Vidvān, by saying Vidvān, Shankaracharya says that he should be an intelligent person, Viveki, and also should have vairagya, dispassion. Dispassion towards what? Towards the longing that one has for the worldly pleasures. Giving up that, what one should do? Vimuktyai prayateta. Should put efforts for liberation. How? Swamiji, we don't know only what is liberation. Okay, I decide that I am going to get liberation and I want to put forth efforts for liberation. But what should I do? I don't know anything. But just now I told you, give up. Okay, I give up the longing for the worldly pleasures. I do that, okay. I also am understanding that I have to put, stop doing worldly actions for worldly sakes. But how? I don't know. Shankaracharya says, samupetya, having gone near whom? Deśikaṃ. Deśikaṃ means teacher. You don't know what is to be done for liberation? Don't worry, teacher will tell you. So approach a teacher. Deśika. Bhavashankara deśikame sharanam. Very famous Totakashtakam. Every verse of Totakashtakam ends with this phrase. Bhavashankara deśika, O teacher Shankara, O Shankaracharya, me sharanam bhava, please become my abode for my surrender. Deśika means teacher. Shishyebhya jnanam dishati, one who gives knowledge to the students, is called as deśika, teacher. So one should approach such a teacher. And what kind of teacher? Two adjectives are used. See how Shankaracharya, that's why he is Jagat Guru. He is Guru of even Gurus. Therefore, he is not just telling how the student should be. For student, he said Vidvān, should be intelligent and should give up the longing for worldly pleasures. Now for teacher also he is giving qualification. He is telling how the teacher should be. Santaṃ, mahāntaṃ, deśikaṃ samupetya. Should approach a teacher who is santa. Santa, noble. The word santa itself means noble. One who is noble. And mahāntaṃ. Mahāntaṃ means mahān atma yasya. Saha mahatma. Mahan. Mahan means what? Mahan, a large-hearted person. Large-hearted, okay? Not elongated-hearted person. Not that I just completed my heart surgery and now my heart is, elongated, therefore I am maha. No. Large-hearted. A compassionate person. Not the one who says that, hey, you don't come to me, what is your problem? Go and study somewhere, don't trouble me, I am, doing something. A compassionate person who looking at us will feel, that, oh, poor thing is struggling, let me help. See, this is just a gist Shankaracharya is telling, okay, you will see in the text, he will dramatize the whole thing. How the student is approaching the teacher and how the student tells what the student is feeling and how the teacher reacts to that, explains to, everything will come. He is just telling in short what one should do. Should have the intelligence to give up the worldly actions. Should have that detachment for the longing of the worldly pleasures. And such a person should approach a teacher who is noble and compassionate. Done, Swamiji. Done. I understood. Everything understood. I become Viveki, I become Vairagi, I approach the teacher. Done. Then, Tena uddharedātmanātmā. Son, that son word has to come. Becoming. Becoming what? Becoming a person who is samāhita, who is one with. One with what? Tena upadishṭārtha. Tena, by him, by the teacher, upadishṭa, what is taught. So when you approach a guru, the guru will teach. Now what is taught by the teacher? Artha, the meaning of the teaching, we should become one with. See how beautiful Sanskrit language is. You may feel, what is this Vedji all the time is glorifying Sanskrit and glorifying Shankaracharya. But what to do, how beautifully he is explaining. Tena upadishṭārthasamāhitātmā. one who has become totally one with the meaning of the teaching that is done by the teacher. Means what? The moment teacher teaches, catch hold of it, understand it, make it yourself. Make it your own personality, make it your own knowledge. Not that the teacher is telling, last time we studied. Last time? What did we study? Arey, that second verse of Vivekachoodamani, Jantu Nam Nar. Jantu Nam. Not like that. when the teacher is teaching, the meaning of the teaching one should grasp and should make it one's own. This is the short summary of Nivritti Marga that Shankaracharya is pointing us. Now actually, if you carefully note, those who have studied Vedanta before, carefully note, the first line is indicating sadhana chatushtaya. Those who have not studied Vedanta, don't worry, sadhana chatushtaya will come in this text itself. That time we will see. But sadhana chatushtaya is the fourfold means that a student, that a seeker must have. So viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shat, sampatti and mumukshutva, which will come. That is indicated by that viveka and vairagya, vidvan and saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. This indicates viveka, vairagya. So the student first gains viveka, vairagya. Then what? The next step is santaṃ, mahāntaṃ, samupetya, deśikaṃ. This is the step of guru upasadana, approaching a teacher. Isn't it? With the attitude, etc. And then what? Then the next stage, tenopadiṣṭārthasamāhitātmā, indicates shravana, manana and nididhyasana. Listening from the teacher, reflecting on the teaching and making it your own. Shravana, listening, manana, reflecting, nididhyasana, meditating. This is the summary of Nivritti Marga. Now he is going to explain each step. Why sannyasa is required? First topic he will take is that only. Why sannyasa is required? Why not I can continue like this only? He will explain. Now one question that people always ask. Sometimes they don't ask, but they want to ask. And what is that? Why guru is required? See, Shankaracharya is a guru and therefore he is telling in his own text that you must approach a guru. Is it not self-publicity? People use funny words. I have actually got such questions, okay? I am not making such questions on my own. I don't have that much intelligence to do that. I got such questions. That, is it not that the Vedas, the Shrutis and the teachers who are teaching us want to keep their position safe? And therefore, they are only telling us that you must approach a guru. Is it not like that? My dear, it is not like that. Why it is not like that? Because there is no other way. Without a guru, you cannot gain knowledge. See, spiritual knowledge is something that we will come to later. Even worldly knowledge we cannot get without a guru. Now you may say, no Swamiji, nowadays Google tells you everything. But somebody must have fed into that Google, no? Then only Google can answer. So that becomes your guru. Google can become your guru, no? For many things nowadays. And if the feed, whatever information is, fed into that Google is wrong, you will get wrong knowledge also. Many people, nowadays whenever they want to travel, they say, don't worry, you just send your location. And what? That lady is there, who speaks in that Google Maps. She will guide me. You don't have to worry about telling me, take left, take right. That Google Map lady will guide me. Please be very careful. I am not saying don't use it. But please be very careful. 2-3 times I have been in trouble following the lady in Google Map. Okay, she told take right and there was such a small place that I took right and I could not go front, I could not go back and very difficult situation. What I mean is, Google can tell you what is fed into it, which may not be always good for you. A teacher always tells you what is required for you. For worldly knowledge I am talking. I have not yet gone to the spiritual side of it. For worldly knowledge, who taught us 1, 2, 3, E, A, B, C, D? Teacher only taught us, isn't it? Ours is a culture that respects teachers. We have Guru Purnima, and not only those days we respect teachers every day. We don't call teacher by the name. We give due respect. The moment teacher enters, we stand up. Not as a procedure, but as a respect that I want to show. Guru is absolutely must. Especially in spiritual path, now coming to that, Guru is irreplaceable. Somebody went to Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji, and asked this question that, why Guru is required? Are the books not sufficient? Interesting question. Why the Guru is required? Are the books not sufficient? But the answer of Gurudev is even more interesting. He said, go and ask this question to the books. You need a person whom you can ask questions, who will understand your position and explain to you in the terms you understand. Isn't it? Guru is absolutely must. We have number of Shruti quotations where the scriptures themselves are telling, don't read the scriptures just randomly on your own. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Only a person who has a teacher can understand. So many such quotations are there. I don't want to scare you by giving many quotations, but I am just telling you. Whether it is Vedas, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, whether it is testimony of many great scholars and realized people, they always say it is impossible to walk this spiritual path without a Guru. Okay, so santaṃ mahāntaṃ samupetya deśikaṃ, approaching a Guru who is noble and kind-hearted is a must step. Must step. Okay, and then one should listen to the Guru, the teaching that he is giving, and try to understand and imbibe. That is the Nivritti Marga that is given by Shankaracharya. Now you see, all these things now you can do sitting at your home also. Now the classes are going online, etc., isn't it? You just need to have what? Number one, should understand that only worldly actions will not give me the goal of my life. Number two, I should not have longing for the worldly pleasures. Why? Because my mind should be free for spiritual knowledge. Now when you are sitting in the class, that's what you are doing. You are telling all other things, no. I will handle you later. Right now, I want to study. What you are doing? You are doing this only, saṃnyastabāhyārthasukhaspṛhaḥ. And then you are approaching a teacher. No, but Swamiji, I am only sitting. Arey, that is physical sitting at your home. But intellectually, mentally, you are approaching the teacher and saying, oh, Shankaracharya, please give us knowledge. And that's why we are studying Vivekachoodamani, isn't it? And then we are trying to listen, reflect, and imbibe. This is what we are doing, and this is what is called as Nivritti Marga. So don't be under some delusion that now, yes, Vedji told, now today onwards, call your all children, conference, home conference, and what, from tomorrow onwards, don't bring anything to me, I am leaving. Sannyas I am taking. Don't do such funny things. Sannyasa is something which is to be done mentally and not just physically. Okay? And what Shankaracharya is asking us to give up, the longing for worldly pleasures, that you can do right now, here itself, by sitting at your own place. No ritual, etc. is required for that. Don't wait for such a ritual also. Right? That is what Shankaracharya is telling us. Now, he is going to elaborate on this in next 7 verses. First thing that he takes is, Guru is a must, we saw. And we have to approach a Guru. Okay. And Guru will give the teaching. Yes. Guru can teach, but the student has to put efforts to understand and imbibe that knowledge. So first thing he takes is, oh my dear student, what? Take charge of your own life. You have to put efforts. Don't say that now I have come to ashram, now this is done. Now, chalo, Guru, teach me. You have to put efforts to learn. This is a knowledge which is learnt, not taught. The teacher can facilitate, but you have to learn it. This is spiritual knowledge we are talking about. That's what Shankaracharya says in the next verse. And as you can see, again the meter is changing every verse up to now. Now some verses will be in the same meter, starting with this verse. Let us read. Please repeat. Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau yogārūḍhatvamāsādya samyagdarśananiṣṭhayā uddharedātmanātmānaṃ magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau yogārūḍhatvamāsādya samyagdarśananiṣṭhayā. What? Uddharet. Uddharet, lift. Atmana, by oneself. Atmanam, oneself. Lift yourself by yourself. Very famous line, Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ nātmānaṃ avasādayet atmaiva yātmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanah. Isn't it? Very famous. From where? Bhagavatam, no? Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam. No. Bhagavad Gita. Good. Chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 6, if I am not wrong. Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ nātmānaṃ avasādayet. Lift yourself by yourself. First, let us see the literal meaning and then we will go in detail. Lift yourself by yourself. But lift means what? I am now fallen? Yes. Magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau. Saṃsāravāridhau. In the ocean of samsara, magnaṃ, who has immersed. Now that you are immersed in this samsara, you lift yourself by yourself. And then what? Yoga ārūḍhatvam asadya. Asadya, attaining. Attaining what? Yogārūḍhatvam. Ārūḍha means to climb upon. To climb on the horse, that is called as arohanam, arudha. So like that, yogārūḍhatvam asadya, attaining the means. Yoga here means means the required instrument that is required for liberation. Attaining that, and how to attain that completely. That completely is explained by saying that you have climbed on that yoga. Climbed on it means what? Completely getting it. Attaining the means completely. Samyagdarśananiṣṭhayā, with a firm conviction or firm abidance in the right vision. Samyagdarśana. What is the right vision? That I am supposed to gain liberation. And what is that liberation? To know my own self. With this clear vision, abiding in this clear vision, one should gain all the required means that are required for this spiritual path. Like when you are traveling, according to where you are traveling and how you are traveling, you pack your bag. Yes or no? Suppose you are traveling by flight. So you know that the check-in bag should not have the battery or the mobile charger or what we say power bank, etc. should be there in our handbag. So according to where you are going, suppose you are going to North India where it is very cold, then what? You take sweater, etc. Suppose you are going to Kerala, you always carry umbrella. Don't forget. I am not a tourist guide or anything, but I am just giving you example. Based on where you are going, you decide what things you must have, isn't it? And how you are going, that also changes how you want to have things, which bag you should pack. If you are going by train, if you are going by bus, then there won't be a place to have big bag on top of the bus. Therefore, you carry 2 small bags. That is simple. What I am trying to explain, based on your journey and destination, you pack your things that are required for you. Similarly, here also, based on your destination and journey, get all the means that are required. You have to get it. The teacher can only point out, you have to get it. And before that, what you have to do? Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ, magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau. So right now you are immersed in this ocean of samsara. Uddhared. You pick yourself up. See how beautiful. Uddhared means picking oneself up, no? And the example given is of ocean. So ocean of samsara. So if you are fallen into the ocean and you want to save yourself, the only correct direction is upwards, isn't it? You can't say that, no, I will go on east side. Oh, which side? North, east. I will go in. You go in any direction, you will not reach the shore. Ocean is so vast. You are not fallen on the seashore. You have fallen inside the ocean. I always remember one joke Guruji tells, Tejomananji tells one joke that once what happened, that one boat was there and because of some problem, the boat started to sink. So the captain told everybody to jump. With that life jacket, they jumped, all of them, into the ocean. And one intelligent person asked this captain, "Oh captain, please tell us, which is the closest land? How far is the closest land? So that we can swim and reach there." So the captain was even more intelligent. He said the closest land is 4 kilometers away. So the person said, in which direction? Captain said, in the downward direction. That is the closest land. You go east, west, south, north, nowhere you can get land. The only way you can save yourself when you are fallen in the ocean is if somebody comes from top and lifts. Isn't it? That's why the word uddharet is used. Uddharet is lifting. Why? Because you have fallen in the ocean. It's not saying that swim across the ocean of samsara. No. Lift yourself. Also, atmana, by yourself. Not that wait for some helicopter to come there and somebody will come and save me. No. You have to put efforts to save yourself. In the traditional commentary, etc., it is said atmana means what? Acharya upadesha samskrita manasa. By the mind that is purified by listening to the teachings of the teacher, that with that mind, using that mind, you lift yourself. With that mind, uddhared. Uddhared atmanātmānaṃ magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau. And then what you should do? Then acquire all the means necessary. Now this is the path to self-realization. What all things I need? I need purity of mind. I need single-pointedness of intellect. I need the ability to clearly distinguish. I need ability to detach myself from the worldly things that I don't want. I need ability to continue till I reach. The determination is what I need. Now all these are means. What are in other terms called as sadhana chatushtaya. The fourfold means. Acquire all of them. How will you acquire? Sometimes, we want to do so many things, but the mind doesn't support our enthusiasm. Mind becomes little dull, in some time. For that he said, samyagdarśananiṣṭhayā. With the firm abidance in the vision, the right vision that you want to pursue. Why? Because that will give you the impetus, the force, the inspiration that is required to gain all the means. Right? So what all things Shankaracharya is saying here? Number one, now that you are immersed in this ocean of samsara, first lift yourself by yourself. While doing that, what you should do? Gain all the necessary means required for liberation. And while doing that, keep your focus on the right vision. That this is something that is necessary, and I must get it as soon as possible. Not that something, 5-year plan. I have a 5-year plan, Swamiji. What 5-year plan? See, first, let me start by getting Viveka now. So, for next 2 years, I am going to focus on Viveka. Then after that, 2 years Vairagya. Then after that, we will see. I don't do like that. Get all the necessary things as soon as you can and set yourself on the travel towards the spiritual upliftment. That's what Shankaracharya ji is saying. Now, in the Shastras, often you will hear this comparison of samsara with the ocean. Ocean of samsara. Always they will say, isn't it? Samsara, sagara. Here, Shankaracharya has used the word varidhi. Vari means water. Varidhi means a large collection of water. That is ocean. So, varidhi is another name for sagara, samudra, ocean. All these mean the same. So, samsara, sagara, often this comparison is done, And so many places you will see why it is compared with ocean, samsara, because number one, it cannot be crossed without the right means. You cannot have a paper boat and sit in that paper boat to cross the ocean of samsara. Not possible. Right means are required. Number one. Number two, it seems that it is shoreless, beginningless, endless when you are in it. Actually, it is not like that. Often you must have seen, even when you go to seashore, you try to see the other shore of the ocean, you can never see. And therefore, you think that it is shoreless. No, you are standing on the shore. What are you talking? It appears to be unending. That's what samsara also is. Appears to be unending, but it is not. Right? So, there are many other things that are compared, Just to give you some idea, let us see. In the ocean, there are many waves. In samsara also, there are many waves. What are these waves doing? These waves are disturbing our balance. Correct? That's what happens in life also. What are these waves? So, the scriptures say the waves are panchaklesha, the 5 kinds of sorrows. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. They will speak of all these things. Avidya means ignorance. I don't know many things. Asmita means ego. You know who I am. Asmi iti bhava asmita. I what do you know? I such a great person. Raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes. These are disturbing our balance of life, isn't it? Hey, get up early. Oh, but I don't like to get up early. No, but you should get up early. Oh, I don't want. I don't like. Creates problem. Abhinivesha means fear. I want to do so many things, but I am afraid. Vijay is told to keep video on. Will he ask questions? Swamiji, do you ask? I don't ask any question. You just keep video on so that I know that I am talking to some people and not to camera. Sure, no? Sure, 100%. Fear stops us from doing many things. These are the waves that are disturbing us. Then there are these sharks and whales and big, creatures, aquatic creatures who can also eat us. What are they? This is what scriptures are saying, okay? Don't put on me. I will recite the verse also. Otherwise, I will be in trouble. Kleshadi panchaka taranga yutam brahmadyam dharatmajapta dhanabandhu jashabhiyuktam aurvanalabha nijarosha manangajalam samsara sagaram atitya harim vrajami. Samsara sagar is explained here. Waves are to be compared with this different 5 types of kleshas that we have seen. Now he says jasha. Jasha means these aquatic dangerous creatures. What is scriptures comparing them to? Dara. Dara means wife. Atmaja or Atmaja, son or daughter. Apta. Apta means relatives. Dhana. Dhana means wealth. Bandhu. again known people that I have, these are the dangerous aquatic creatures who will eat me in this ocean of samsara. Vechi, what are you saying? See, I am telling you again, this is what the scriptures are telling, and I fully agree with it. Don't think that I am not agreeing with it. I agree with it. We know. See, in English also, these people are called as relatives because they are relative. When everything is happening good with you, they will all be there. When something bad happens, you won't even know where they vanished. Relative. Their existence is relative in your life. And when it is said Dara, wife, husband is also to be understood. It is not talking about only one gender. That's why Atmaja, when it is said son, sons are only problem. Daughter also. See, you know what? Actually speaking, these people in our life is not a problem. Our attachment to these people is a problem. That's where we get into trouble. So these aquatic creatures also, when they are there, if we go and try to hug these aquatic creatures, then they will eat you. Obviously, you try to hold on to them, then they will not leave you. So they are like these aquatic creatures. Okay. Not the people as such. The attachment, my attachment with these people is what will become the cause for my downfall. My attachment to them. Right? Then what? Aurvanala means the fire that is in the ocean. You might have heard this, no? Vadavagni we say in Sanskrit, another word for that. That inside the ocean there is fire. And because of that only the other creatures etc. can live. I don't know whether you know it. So this fire inside is what? Aurvanala, Nalaba, Nija Rosha, one's own anger is this fire. It is always inside, isn't it? Anger makes us do funny things. What we don't want to do, anger makes us do. And then later on we say, why did I do? Why did I do? And then we get more angry on oneself. And then we do more stupid things. In Mahabharata it is said, if you want to be stupid, take decisions when you are angry. That's the best way to be stupid. And that's what we do. When we are angry, we take some decision, and then what? Then later on our ego doesn't allow us to go back on that decision. The ego says, now you have taken decision, now go ahead with it. Then we start repenting, why did I do that? Why did I? Anger. This is the fire inside that ocean. Ananga jalam, and the net because of which you are caught up in this samsara is what? Ananga kama, desire. I want that. And once this lockdown is over, no, I want to travel here and I want to travel there. And already our plans are ready. Because we could not travel for a couple of years, now for our next 20 years the plan is ready. No matter what is our age. But we want to have all the plans, Here I should go. And one of the plans also, Swamiji, is to come to CIF, and I want to stay there. I am not saying good desire or bad desire, but these number of desires are like the net. And we are caught up in this ocean of samsara. Atitya, crossing over this, Harim Vrajami, let me worship that Hari. Okay. Now somebody after listening to this says that, Swamiji, this samsara is so difficult, and how to cross over? I don't think I will be able to do that. It was nice listening to you, Swamiji, on Vivekachoodamani, but I think Ram, now onwards, I don't think I will be able to walk this spiritual path. Why? It is so difficult. Arey, my dear, don't worry. Akhandanandji Maharaj, one very famous saint from Mumbai, he always used to say, Karya kathin hai, isliye karne yogya hai. That something is difficult, therefore it is worth doing. Otherwise, simple things to everybody will do. God has chosen you. Why? Because the karya is difficult, that the work is difficult. Right? That is one thing. And also, more difficult work requires more commitment. That is what is also important. So, I should not take up to the spiritual path as a side business. I am doing something else, but let me also do this. No, your full commitment is required. Full commitment to the spiritual path is required. Every moment you are supposed to do that. That doesn't mean now from tomorrow. Vedji said, full commitment is required, therefore order food from Swiggy. Why? Because I am not going to cook. That is not said here. Nobody is asking you to give up your duties. The only thing that is asked is what? Give up the longing for the worldly pleasures. Be intelligent and understand that worldly actions can only give finite results. And what I want is infinite, cannot be gained by these actions. Right? To emphasize this point, Shankaracharya takes us to the next verse. Let us read. Verse number 10. Please repeat. Saṃnyasya sarvakarmāṇi bhavabandhavimuktaye yatyatāṃ paṇḍitairdhīrairātmābhyāsa atmābhyāsa upasthitaiḥ saṃnyasya sarvakarmāṇi bhavabandhavimuktaye yatyatāṃ paṇḍitairdhīrairātmābhyāsa upasthitaiḥ. Now that we are immersed in this ocean of samsara, how to come out of it? Bhavabandhavimuktaye. Vimuktaye for liberation. From what? Bhavabandha. Bandha means bondage. Bhava means samsara. In order to gain liberation from the bondage of samsara, what I should do? Sarvakarmāṇi saṃnyasya. Giving up all the actions. Just literal translation we are seeing, okay? We will see the important points about that later. In order to gain liberation from the bondage of samsara, sarvakarmāṇi saṃnyasya, giving up all actions, paṇḍitaihi, dhīraihi, yatyatāṃ. Effort should be put by that pandita, by that dhīra. We'll keep these words right now like this, pandita and dhīra. Who is how? Atmābhyāse upasthitaiḥ, by a person who is ever engaged in atma abhyasa, in the practice of self. So a person should give up all other actions and focus totally on the practice of self-realization. That's what this verse is telling. Again, the verse is not telling you to give up your duties. Is not telling you to give up objects, please. It's not telling us to do that. What is Shankaracharya saying now? When he says sarvakarmāṇi saṃnyasya, what does it mean? Give up all the actions which are detrimental to your spiritual path. Those actions we need to give up. Oh, sarvakarmāṇi saṃnyasya. Japa is also an action. I will give up japa. First thing that I will give up is I will give up japa. No! The actions that are detrimental to your spiritual path. Selfish actions. Because that is detrimental. Selfish actions are very risky. Why? Because they build ego. Then you are caught up in that cycle of action, you desire and then you do some action and to gain something and then you get it, and then if you get it you are happy, if you don't get it you are sad, then if you are happy you want it more, if you are sad that now to you want it strongly, and then you put more actions and then put more efforts and then get another object and then some, you are continuing that only. Selfish actions are to be given up. Saṃnyasya sarvakarmāṇi, and then what? Yatyatāṃ. Effort should be put forth. Effort should be put forth. In what? By whom? Paṇḍitaihi, by the wise. So actually speaking, though he is saying that paṇḍitaihi yatyatāṃ, the effort should be put forth by the wise, what it means is put efforts to become wise. And what do you mean by becoming wise? Gain the knowledge that the teacher is teaching. Shravana, you do. Pandita, Panda yasya asti. One who has got intelligence, Panda, is called as Pandita. Now here, what is that intelligence? Atma Vishayaka Paroksha Jnana. The knowledge that the teacher is telling, Paroksha Jnana, it may be intellectual understanding, doesn't matter, but try to gain that understanding that I am that self which is of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. I am not this body, nor this mind, nor the intellect, nor the combination of it. I am that. At least intellectually gain this knowledge. Put efforts in gaining this knowledge. This is one thing. Second is what? Dhira. Dhira means courageous. But here, Dhira Purusha. Dhyam Rati iti Dhira. One who is protected by intellect or one who protects intellect. What it means basically is one who has mastered one's mind. By such a person, effort should be put. Means what? Put efforts to master your mind. Do it. Try to control your mind. So far, mind has been ordering, you have been following. Mind says, I want ice cream. You run and get ice cream. Mind says, I want to sleep now. You sleep. Mind says, I don't like this person. You say bad things about that person. So far, mind has been ordering and we have been following. Now turn the tables. No, you order. Let the mind follow. Do this. Turn your attention inward. Paranchikhani vetranat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman kaschid dhiraha. Kathopanishad says, one rare person, that dhira purusha, pratyagatmanam aikshata avritta chakshu, who turns the attention within and understands that the happiness that I am searching for is not outside, is my own nature. Become intelligent. Turn your attention to the essential. Paṇḍitairdhīrairātmābhyāsa yatyatāṃ. Now what? I should put efforts in. Atmābhyāse upasthitaiḥ. By those who are ever engaged. Upasthita. Upasthita means always available. For what? For Atmābhyāsa. Practice of self means what? Practice of remaining in that knowledge that I am that supreme consciousness, supreme Brahman of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. Always remain in that thought. Vidyaranya Swamiji says, Tat Kathanam, Tat Chintanam, Tat Kathanam, Anyonyam Tat Prabodhanam. Tat Chintanam. Continuously reflect on these spiritual thoughts, what the scriptures are saying. Tat Kathanam. If you want to share, you share only these thoughts. Not that, let us talk about politics. Very interesting talk. Talk about the self. But Swamiji, to tell you the truth, I want to talk about, but nobody wants to listen. No problem. Keep a watch in front of you and talk to the watch. You know what? I am of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. That's what I am. You talk to the watch. You have lots of trees. Go in front of a tree and say, let us have satsang now. What? Scriptures are telling I am of the nature of consciousness. How can I be? Talk. And if you meet people who also like spirituality, Anyonyam tat prabodhanam, you share some your ideas, let that person share, you listen, but remain in that thought. This is called as Atmābhyāsa. Etad ekaparatvam cha brahmabhyasam vidurbudhaha. The wise call this as brahmabhyasa. Brahmabhyasa, Atmabhyasa, one and the same. Ekaparatvam. Ekaparatvam means there is single thing that you are holding on to. Single agenda of the meeting is what? Is self-realization. No other agendas. No subcategory, nothing. Single agenda. So continuously be in that thought. Now, you can remain in that thought even while doing your other work. Please remember that. And therefore, it is not a must that you should give up all the activities. While cooking also, you can keep thinking about it. While driving also, you can think about it. But that doesn't mean forget to drive or forget to cook. That is not the point. The point is what? Remain in that thought all the time. Saṃnyasya sarvakarmāṇi, giving up all the selfish actions, bhavabandhavimuktaye, for gaining liberation from the bondage of samsara, paṇḍitairdhīrairātmābhyāsa, upasthitaiḥ, yatyatāṃ. The effort should be put forth by the pandita, by the dhira, by the one who is ever engaged in the practice of self-realization. In other words, effort should be put to become pandita, to become dhira, to ever remain in the practice of self-realization. Do this. Right? Do this. Okay, Swamiji. I think I got your point. I have to do. Hey, don't forget what? By knowledge alone we can get liberation, not by action. You remember we started with that point? Vadantu shastrani, yajantu devan, kurvantu karmani, bhajantu devat, atmaikya bodhena vina vimuktihi na siddhyati. Now after Bhagavan Shankaracharya said uddharedātmanātmānaṃ and do this and do this, do this, somebody may think that by action I am going to get liberation. Shankaracharya immediately corrects in the next verse. I think that we will see in the next class. He immediately says, I am just telling you the gist of next verse. He says, Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Action is to gain purity of mind, natu astu upalabdhaye, and not for gaining that reality. Why? Vastu siddhi vicharena. Because that realization or gaining the self is possible only by vichara, only by inquiry, only by knowledge. Na kinchit karma kotibhihi, and never by even crores of actions. So keep focus. Though you are performing so many actions, understand that that is as a means and not as the goal. This should finally culminate into knowledge that will give me liberation. Please clearly understand this point. Okay? And then he gives one example also in the next verse to clarify these points. Both these verses and more verses we will see in the next session. Okay? So the point that we saw today is Shankaracharya first gave the entire summary of Nivritti Marga, that we should gain sadhana chatushtaya, approach a guru, guru upasadana, and listen, reflect and meditate. Now, in order to do that, what am I supposed to do? First, I have to start with myself. Uddharedātmanātmānaṃ magnaṃ saṃsāravāridhau. Isn't it? Yogārūḍhatvamāsādya. I have to gain all the necessary means required by keeping my goal clearly in front of my eyes. And for that also, what I have to do? Sannyasta sarvakarmāṇi. Give up all the selfish actions. Bhavabandhavimuktaye, for gaining the liberation from the bondage of samsara, and then become pandita, become dhira, and remain ever in the thought of the Supreme Self. These are the points that we have seen in today's session. Remaining we will see next class. Okay, let us conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.